Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be about Shawn Mendes. And let me just say, this is all allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that because of YouTube. So yeah, now let's look into the energies. So it's interesting. I've done many readings for this guy. You know what I mean? I predicted his breakup before it happened. I also looked into just like all sorts of different energies as far as like after the breakup and all sorts of shit. So I've done many readings on him. So if you guys are kind of like new to my channel, definitely look at like all the past readings I've done on this guy. But now then, let's get straight into the energies. So yeah, I'm just gonna see like what's happening with him. I'm not really gonna be like so heavy. Kind of just like whatever pops up, whatever needs to be shown. All right. I can already tell this is gonna be interesting just from that first card. All right, we need 2 more cards. So then, this is interesting. How I go about this, because I understand everyone's not familiar with this particular deck that I'm using, like my way of how I go about it. So how I do it is, I cover the commentary, and then I just like focus on the imagery and the energy. So this finger, right, it's an energy of blame. This is kind of like a finger pointing sort of energy. You know what I mean? Not just that, but this can also refer to, I thought the card was dirty. This can refer to having an idea. So it's like he has an idea is what I'm seeing, but at the same time, there's an energy of finger pointing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like he's blaming someone for something. You know what I mean? If you look with this sort of like shadowy energy around this person's finger, it's definitely not the best energy. So I'm definitely getting like a blame game sort of situation. Oh, wow. So it's a warning because it's a problem that's about to pop up in the near future is what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Very fascinating. So let's see. And it's interesting, right? Because I'm getting a vibe that this is something like that always happens. It's kind of just like intuitively he understands that something's not right? He picks up on energy. He's kind of like, like I feel that this isn't legit, right? But then he ends up going through with whatever he's like doing. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like he's not listening to his intuition is what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like he gets warnings that a problem is going to happen. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like he doesn't listen to his intuition. Let's get this next energy. Not just that, but he is feeling overburdened at this time. He's definitely feeling overburdened. You know what I mean? Ants, they pick up things that's like 1,000 times heavier than them. You know what I mean? That's what like science say. You know, that's not like an exact quote. You know what I mean? But, you know, they pick up like things that's like supposed to be like very heavy than they are, and that's totally the energy that I'm getting. You know what I mean? And it's interesting, right? This leaf, it speaks of peace, it speaks of harmony. You know what I mean? Not just that, this almost looks like an orchid leaf as well. So it's kind of just like, or orchid petals, excuse me, this is obviously like just some random leaf, and this is like orchid petals. So this guy, he likes things to be easygoing. And this is funny, I'm always picking this up with his readings. Like, he loves easygoing energy. He doesn't like difficulty, you know what I mean? Not just that, he's the sort of guy that, like, would present an olive branch. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like, if he's not, like, getting along with someone or something's, like, you know, like, not so great, you know what I mean? This is a guy that's, like, friendly. He tries to make it right. But it's an energy of him burdening himself. Not just that. Again, this is a warning. You know what I mean? So it's like he doesn't listen to the warnings that he's getting, you know? But, I mean, the good thing about this situation, is what I'm picking up, is that it's kind of like this sort of energy is really good to have, though. You know what I mean? I mean, if it's who you are. Like for me, I'm like a cool person. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like difficulty. I don't like drama. Like, you know, but I'm not going to necessarily present any olive branches and shit. Maybe because I'm a Capricorn with a Scorpio moon, but it's kind of just like usually when you do me shady, you know what I mean? Like you do me dirty, you know, it's kind of just like I'm not going to fuck with you. You know what I mean? But this guy, what's good about him is that, again, it's kind of just like he likes to get along, you know what I mean? Very diplomatic. You see what I mean? And this whole work, achievement, success is showing me it's kind of just like a form of good karma, you know. The fact that he does burden himself to like make right with people shows that it's good for him, you know. And again, it's like who you are as a person. For me, I'm not really that type of person, you know, but I am definitely loyal and, you know what I mean, generous, like very generous, you know. But it's kind of just like, you know, once you kind of like start to fuck things over and be shady and shit, you know, I can't fuck with you after that. This situation with the tiger, this is deep. This is very deep. It's kind of just like whenever I see a tiger, it speaks of a habit. You know how they say like you can't change a tiger's stripes? I'm definitely seeing that. There's definitely a habit here. Not just that, but it's interesting. I know this is probably like, I don't know, it could be like a mountain. This could be like a roof of a house. But it actually, what I'm seeing is like fingers, you know. I know that that's probably not what it is, but I'm getting fingers intuitively. I'm definitely seeing fingers, even though I think that's probably a hill. Someone's trying to change him, is what I'm seeing intuitively. It's kind of just like someone's trying to pet him. You know what I mean? Someone's trying to like, I don't know, be obnoxious. You know what I mean? It's almost like someone's trying to coerce him. You know what I mean? To try to like switch up who he is as a person. So this is an energy of strength in this situation, you know, because sometimes when you're too nice, you can be kind of like, what's the word for it? A pushover. I'm definitely getting that situation. You know what I mean? He needs to do something risky. You know what I mean? He needs to take a chance. He needs to switch up how he operates. You know, this is funny. It's definitely fascinating. And it makes me think of the past readings that I did for like him and his lady, or his ex-lady. You know what I mean? Because it was like, he was in that relationship. I forget the exact details because I haven't seen those readings in a minute. Like, I haven't done, like, you know what I mean? Like, those were, like, readings I did for them, like, months ago, like, last year. But it was showing me kind of just, like, I don't know, he really tried to work with her, and he didn't really listen to himself. So it's funny that these energies are popping up again. So I don't know if she's trying to make a comeback or what. Obviously, I'm going to look as far as like deeper insight into this situation. I don't necessarily have questions. This reading is just an easygoing reading, whatever pops up. But there is definitely someone trying to like switch up who he is as a person, you know, almost like challenging, like kind of like compromising him. You know what I mean? Putting him in a unfortunate predicament is what I'm getting. Let's see what this next card is about. This archway, this is interesting, right? Because archways, it speaks of victory. Not just that, it speaks of your foundation. I'm seeing a victory coming his way. I'm definitely seeing a victory. You know what I mean? And you see how like these flowers are kind of like on the road? So it's like he's going to be receiving his flowers. This is energy of respect. I'm definitely seeing an energy of respect. So this is really interesting with this new possibilities. Actually, new opportunities and possibilities. This is interesting because I wonder what this has to do about. You know what I mean? But obviously, I'm going to let the energy speak for itself because I don't always want to ask questions. You know what I mean? This isn't a paid reading or anything. This is kind of just like a casual reading. So let's see what's going on. All right. So this is funny. This definitely is affecting his emotions. Because you guys know what I say. When a card is face down, it speaks of someone's, like the person's emotion. Not just that, when it's sideways, it speaks of shit not being right. Ooh, this is an interesting Five of Swords, actually. And I believe this is the first time, like, I drew this card from this deck. You know what I mean? So that's definitely interesting. But this is interesting energies, right? Because this Five of Swords speaks of narcissism. It also speaks of abuse. Do you see this shit? Narcissism, abuse. So again, what was I telling you? You know, he doesn't listen to his warnings. He gets warned, you know what I mean, that there's going to be problems and shit, but he doesn't listen to it. You know, not just that, it's kind of like after everything is said and done, then he bitches and complains. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like, you kind of have to take the initiative when shit is happening in the moment, you know what I mean? And you have to listen to your instincts. You can't kind of like bitch and complain afterwards. But it's showing me he's definitely dealing with a sort of like mean person, an abusive person. So, this is fascinating because like the reading in the past that I done for him, it almost makes me think of Camilla, because Camilla was really like mean to him. Like, as far as like, the readings I did, it was showing that she was just like an abusive person. So, fascinating. I'm picking up a cycle with him. He's getting himself caught up with particular cycles. So let's see what else shows. All right. He's trying to work hard, though. You know what I mean? He's definitely trying to work hard. It's kind of just like, it's a lot of shit going on in his life, right? Because we can see he's dealing with the narcissist, point blank. You know what I mean? Not just that, he is trying to build. You see this guy? This deck is all about the imagery, this particular deck. So you see he's building. You know what I mean? Not just that, he's trying to put people, like, behind him. Because trees represent lineage. Like when it's one tree, when it's multiple trees, it speaks of different people. And you see how his back is turned? Like, it's kind of like his back is facing like all these different people, basically. It's an energy of kind of like he wants to work on himself. You know what I mean? He definitely wants to work on himself. But it's funny though, because I'm picking up energies. I'm actually liking this reading because I'm like picking up all sorts of energies, but it's really like interesting. Like, it's insightful for me. Like, I like picking up insightful energies because it's showing me like real life situations. You know what I mean? It's nothing so intense and heavy. It's kind of like average, like real life shit, but it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm getting energy of business. I'm definitely seeing a burden because of business. Remember how I was telling you the energy of burden? I'm definitely seeing a burden because of business. So I know he makes music. I don't know what else he does. So obviously he has a boss in the industry that he's in. I'm definitely picking up a burden. You know what I mean? He's definitely burdened because he has to work. He wants to work and he has to work. But he also has to put in effort. I'm definitely seeing him put in effort. I see him practicing. Not just that, he's really trying to stay focused. But again, he's dealing with a narcissist. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things happening for him currently. And it's funny because I'm getting like a real chill dude. And it's funny that I'm always picking up this energy with him. He must be a real nice person. You know what I mean? Because it's funny because I'm picking up someone that's really like chill. Like, he's going through so much like shit in his life. He kind of almost recently came out of a breakup. I know that was kind of like a year ago or a few months ago, but like that's significant. You know what I mean? And it's showing me it's like he still wants to be a chill person. You know what I mean? He still wants to offer peace, but it's kind of just like he's put in situations that he's not comfortable with. Not just that, he has an issue with speaking up for himself. So, it is what it is. Let's look deeper. All right. This King of Cups, he had enough. He has definitely had enough of all this sort of like people trying to control him. You know what I mean? He has enough of like the narcissist, you know, because the King of Cups speaks of mastery over your emotions. So he's definitely going to be coming into that vibe. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like people have been taking advantage of him, taking advantage that like he's a chill dude. You know what I mean? But he's going to be coming into balance. It's funny too that it's two sort of like heads here. And water, you know, speaks of emotion. So what I'm seeing is balance. He's coming into balance. Not just that, he's coming into his power at this time. So that's a good situation. That's definitely a good situation. And I know I'm probably like a little bit more slow with these particular readings, but I'm just, again, enjoying the energy. I'm not really asking questions. I genuinely love doing tarot, actually. I love like picking up energies. I love this shit, like the energies, especially when the energies are kind of nice. It's a nice situation. So it's interesting. The card is shown, but I was talking to you guys, but it flipped back like face down. So it's interesting. This is showing me the fact how the card came out that way. He's having issues, right? Because it's like one moment he feels confident, then the next moment he second guesses himself. You know what I mean? He starts to doubt himself. Not just that, again, you know, his emotion, the card is sideways. So let's see. The world, his standing in life. This is a deep energy, right? This is a real deep energy. He's not living his true sort of like self, his true life, whatever you want to call it, his realest self. You know, and I know that people like say that he's a homosexual or he's bisexual. You know, I'm not going to get into that. Again, I'm not asking questions, but I'm not going to lie. The world has to do with your image. And it's funny, the vibe that I'm getting is like he's not able to really be himself. So that's the only conclusion like I'm picking up on. Like, does it have to do with his sexuality? Because it's like he's not confident. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like sometimes you try to like be his true self, like, you know, but then it's kind of just like he's not confident. And this is an interesting energy, right? Because it's kind of like people don't necessarily have to know your business. You know what I mean? So like, let's just say if this guy was my client, right? And I seen that like he was struggling with his sexuality and stuff like that. Because I've had clients like where like these type of energies come up and shit. And the truth of the matter is that it's no one's business. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like, you shouldn't feel obligated to be like, yo, like, I'm this way or this is what I'm into. You know what I mean? You don't have to like necessarily worry about your mannerisms, because I'm picking up like he's worried about his mannerisms. He's worried about who he is. But it's kind of just like no one's business. You know what I mean? It's almost like he's feeling pressured to like basically come out. You know what I mean? But it's kind of just like it's his business. You know what I mean? Not just that. I'm gonna hold it up right now so you guys can see the image properly. This is also sort of like an energy of the magician. This is totally like an energy of the magician, because this deck, it's a real deep deck. I actually like it, you know. I definitely like it. I forget the name at this moment, but I definitely like it because like some of the imagery are kind of like mixed, like they overlap each other. So I'm seeing it's kind of just like this is throwing off his ability to create. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like, you know, he would be in his power as a magician if he wasn't worrying about this shit. But it's definitely a stress to him, you know? And it's funny, too. You look at this guy, I mean, I'm not trying to be, like, offend anyone or anything like that. But, you know, this guy, he looks like a homosexual from, like, the 70s or the 80s or some shit. It is what it is. So it's kind of just, like, it's funny, too, that, like, even the imagery is, like, showing this shit. But it's like he just needs to chill, you know? Like, just be free, not feel bound by any obligations, because I'm definitely picking up an energy of obligations, you know? It's like, yeah, he's gonna have victory and success, you know what I mean? It's kind of just like things are opening up for him, you know what I mean? But again, it's kind of just like he needs to be comfortable, because it's all great if all the opportunities are there, right? But it's like if you're not moving because you're like afraid, or you know what I mean, that can create an energy of stagnation, and then you don't take sort of like the new opportunities and shit that's coming your way, you know, and the new possibilities, you know. And it's kind of just like, even though the path is like open up for you and shit, if you don't take it, then you know it is what it is. But it's showing me it's like he's having issues with who he is. Because again, the world represents many things. These cards represent many things, obviously. But one of the things the world represent is your standing in the world. You know what I mean? How you present yourself, your image. He's having issues with his image. He's struggling. So, I mean, pretty sad for him. But I feel like this reading was very insightful. You know what I mean? I definitely love picking up on his energies because it's a real peaceful, nice vibe. You know, some celebrities, some people, they have such shitty energy. Like the Jennifer Lopez reading I did was really like dark because her energies are just like really bad. You know what I mean? Like some celebrities, they have like cool energies. Some have shit energies. This guy, he's a real cool person. But yeah, stay tuned for more content. If you like this reading, definitely press the thumbs up button. You know what I mean? If you would like to have a reading with me, how to go about that will be in the description box. And if you would like me to cover a celebrity for you, how to go about that as well will be in the description box. Thanks again. Take care.